you feel so much. You feel so much that most of your life you pushed it down, you repressed it, you drank it away, you smoked it away, you did all kinds of things to not feel. But you are an emotional being, you are an emotional creature. All humans are, but you especially. You are extremely emotional. You are far more sensitive than most people. How do I know this? Because I am. And most of my life I pushed it down, I repressed it. I drank it away, I ate my emotions. And it's hard. I just walked into a church here in Oviedo, Spain. I am not religious. I certainly have my issues with the Catholic Church. But I walked in and I wanted to just see what's going on inside. And there was a mass happening. And usually that would have caused me to turn right away. But for some reason, I just walked in. I stood towards the back. It was a full house. And they started playing the organ. The choir sang hallelujah. And within a matter of moments, I was in tears. I was crying. It was a sadness. It was sadness. Maybe it was grief. It was deep. I couldn't really quite explain it. And I didn't need to, because emotion doesn't require explanation. Emotion is just energy. Emotion, energy in motion. And so at any moment that my mind started to come up and trying to put a label to it, a story to it, attach some sort of meaning to it, I closed my eyes. And I felt. And there I was in the back of the church crying. And it's funny because I also felt shame and guilt. Funny, no surprise in a Catholic church, really. But I had to honor those emotions too. And then I closed my eyes and I cried more. Because the emotion must be felt. It must move through the body. And in fact, stuck emotions that are repressed, become dis-ease, disease, just like water, because emotion is water. It is reflected in the ancient esoteric wisdom and the elemental wisdom and magic of this world and universe. It is water. Water, when stuck, when it doesn't move, when it doesn't flow, becomes poison. Just like our emotions, when we don't allow them to flow, become poison. And so there I was in the back of a church in Spain, crying. And then eventually the emotion passed and I felt like it was time to move on, so I did. I moved, I continued walking. And then maybe you can hear in the background, there's a woman singing opera. And I walked by and she was busking. And so I threw a couple of coins in the basket and I just stood there and I watched. And then I started to cry again. But then I also felt gratitude. I felt joy. I felt all kinds of emotions, because the important thing is to just feel and honor those emotions. It doesn't matter what the story is. The mind wants to put the story to it, but emotions are just energy. And at the end of the day, everything is energy. So if you feel an emotion, just feel it. Just be with it. Be present. And I know that can be tricky in a society, in a world, in a culture where emotions are not honored and celebrated. Where crying makes you weak, especially as a man. But you're wired different. Maybe you resonate with this terms like ADHD, or you have an overwhelming sense of emotion. Maybe you have some sort of a disorder that society might label you with. But the thing is it's not actually a disorder. It's just your sensitivity, your nervous system is set up differently so that you can come here and break free from the patterns that have kept our people locked up generation after generation after generation, stuck in the deeply negative emotions of fear and shame and guilt, which are being harvested, are being consumed energetically. And that's a story for another day, but I'm not saying that we shouldn't feel those emotions, but there's a whole spectrum of emotions. And I promise you, if you allow those old, heavy, especially those more negative emotions, which it's not about right or wrong, good or bad, but if you allow those to be felt, then you make more space and capacity in your nervous system to feel the joy. Have you ever felt so absolutely just tapped out because you have been so sad, or you have been repressing all those emotions, that you can't even access the happiness when it comes along. Unless perhaps it's a synthetic happiness, a high, a buzz, something like that. That's because if we don't make space in our nervous system, if we don't allow that energy to flow, there's no more, even when the joy happens, there's no more space in our container, our vessel, for us to fill with that beautiful, pleasant, joyful, high vibration energy. So you feel more than most, and I celebrate you for feeling that, and I encourage you to feel it. And surround yourself with people who will honor that. Go to a place or be around people who won't judge you or make fun of you when you are in that emotion. Communicate, express to other people, say, hey, you know what, I'm feeling something. Are you okay if I just be with it? Could you give me a hug? Ask for what you need. And actually, even, I'm gonna challenge you. If you're in public and you're feeling some deep sadness, just start crying. When I first quit drinking alcohol, I remember going to a park and I was feeling extremely stressed and a lot of emotions that I couldn't quite identify. And I went out to the park and I somehow came across a man who basically looked like the image that they push on front of us of Jesus. And he said something to me that provoked me to start crying. And immediately I tightened up and I thought that if I would cry in front of these other people, they would make fun of me. But in fact, within a matter of moments, I was being held and hugged by him and another woman. And once that emotion, that energy moved through me and released, my God, I felt free. I actually ended up feeling so good that I literally sprinted around the park that I was in next to my house. And I came back and I was huffing and puffing. And the guy looked at me and he said, did you just run around the park? I said, yeah. And it was like, I could feel that joy and that powerful intensity because I made space for it. I let go of the heavy weight, and then all of a sudden I could feel the lightness and the joy. So, you feel more than most, celebrate it, honor it. That was your design. You chose that design. So come here, be that, celebrate that. Give yourself permission. And if your mind ever tries to explain, or what is this, what's going on, just let it go. Deep breath, let it go. My name is Christopher Armstrong, and I am here to support those of you like me that feel more, that are more sensitive, more aware, more open, and that can be really hard in this world that is often so just drowning in pain and misery. But if this resonates with you, subscribe, like, share this with somebody if you feel that they might resonate with this message too. Because we came here with this design to help this planet to heal. So the more that we can celebrate this, the better things are going to get, I promise you. Stick around for more information about how you can navigate life more easily with your neurodivergent mind, your open, sensitive energy system, your nervous system that was not wired for this chaotic place. And remember that you came here to help build a new, better, different world. One that's more in alignment with how humans and nature are all supposed to get along together, because we are nature. So stick around. I'll see you soon.